This is Morning in the Shop. This is Tuesday. We got a rainy day today. In case a lot of people hadn't seen the other videos or whatnot, I do this Morning in the Shop as a practice. I practice speaking in front of the camera, trying to get good at it. I did a 30-day, 5 to 10 minute talk on a subject, every day for 30 days. Well, the thing about it is, I did that, and there's one thing about it. You ever noticed how people kind of look to the side? This camera is about the size of a dot on a period on a paper or something. I put a piece of tape on it so I could, it draws my attention to that tape, and I'm looking more at the camera that way. So I found that helps me a little bit. But this is the last day of April 30th. I thought when I retired that the time would slow down a little bit, but it ain't. I already got April in the books. Thinking about doing my Christmas shopping, because it'll be here before you know it. It just time flies. And also, with that said, I keep saying I'm new to YouTube, and I am. Speaking in front of the camera, I think I'm getting a little better at it. I'm a little bit more comfortable with it, in a way. I don't know if it shows on camera that I'm a little more comfortable, but I've been doing this for 6 months now. It don't seem like it's been that long, but I'm hoping that I'll settle into a niche. But I started doing this 30-day thing, and I had an external hard drive. It got full. You can imagine if I'm talking, well, you say 10 minutes and you go 30 days, that's 300 minutes, and that's a big, well, it filled the drive up, and before you know it, I lost them. Don't have them anymore. But I went to the first time I done it, still not the most complex thing in the world, but the deal was talk 5 to 10 minutes on the subject for 30 days. And it's basically practice, Well, that first time, I wish I still had it. I'd show it to you. I come down here, I really don't know what I'm going to talk about. I just kick it off on whatever the feeling strikes and so forth and so on. But anyway, that first time, I struggled to get 4 minutes in. I finally just called it at 4 minutes. It was horrible. But at the end of the 30 days, I didn't have any problem going 15 to 19 minutes. Of course, I did a lot of rambling. If y'all seen the first Morning in the Shop, the one I aired last Friday, I did some rambling on that one too. And it feels like I'm going to do rambling on this one. But I did get a comment on my second one, which is mark number 1. I did a test, and I figured I'd just mark number 1. I'd do one each day this week. This is the second one. This would be mark number 2. I got a comment on my clapperboard. But if you notice, when I started, first thing, this is what you seen. What I have found, I tell you, let me get a drink of coffee. Burn some of that flame and whatnot out. Don't know what's going on here. Excuse me. But anyway, I'll do this as soon as it fires up. And what it is, when I bring my videos up, I adjust it to where I get little thumbnails instead of list. Well, if you do it as soon as it fires up, this is the information. You don't even have to open up the video to see what it's about. This is the first thing you see, which is handy. Cause when you go to editing the videos, what I have found, it takes as long to do the editing of the videos as it did to actually do the shooting of the videos. And also, something I've noticed, I could come down here and do a project in a fraction of the time that I can do it while filming it. It takes time to set the camera up, and of course I'm not the best in the world at it, which I'm hoping to get better. It's getting a little better. So to do a big project, you know, like that library table, it took a while. And the thing about it is, in woodworking, if you ain't careful, you'll miss a shot. If y'all seen that library table, when I did the dovetails for the drawer, I got very little. I thought the camera was going. It just, and a lot of times, especially in woodworking, you make the cut. Well, the cut's made, and the camera didn't come on like you thought it did, or something. It kind of messes you up. So I'm getting used to that. But on the lathe, when I'm running 2 cameras, I got DaVinci Resolve is my editing, and I can clap that thing, and it'll automatically sync the audio up and the video up for me 9 times out of 10. Every now and then it gets a little confused, but most of the time it's right on the money. That makes it handy. That's where this little feller comes in, because I made a video on that, I think it's the Magnolia bowl, and the one where it blowed up. You know, I got too thin and it just hand grenaded. Well, it was 12 different scenes that I was doing with this thing, and I didn't have this thing. And when I got back to editing, golly bomb. Man, I tell you what, I had to watch them. I mean, it took twice again to get it like I wanted. But since I brought this thing on board, when I'm running multiple cameras, oh gosh, it cut my editing time in half, being able to hunt and put the right thing on. It is very valuable. And all I did was got some of that paint, that where you paint this on, it becomes a chalkboard. And then, it's funny that my granddaughter got these see, it's called chalk markers. I think it was at Hobby Lobby, but I needed the regular chalk. I couldn't get this to work, so I got a fine point and wide point, and I don't know if y'all can see that, but anyway, I went and got me some chalk and writing it on there. But the thing about it is, I find this thing is like a rattle can. You got to mix it up, come to find out. But like project scenes, date, the stuff that stays on there, I do it with this. It don't come off near as quick. Then I used the regular chalk, and I need to erase the stuff that changes every day. That was pretty handy to come up with that. I don't know. It feels like I'm just rambling on pretty good here. Yesterday I made some spinning tops, you know, with the string where you know. That turned out real good. I'll be making a video on that. It'll be, I don't know if it'll be next week or not, but I'll make a video. I turned one of it, and I did the 2 camera deal, if you know what I mean. And I'm able to edit a little of it, and it looked like it's going to be okay. But yeah, we was going to talk about bench hooks today, just for a minute. Bench hooks, I'm going to let y'all see this. It's pretty simple little jig. It just, when I've used this thing, I about wore it out, about time to make another. It's got a cleat in the bottom and a little old fence. And a lot of times, y'all notice when I did the library table, I took I got it marked right there on the, and what you can do with these little small things, you can come in here and you cut her off right there. Because a lot of times these little old things right here, you try to do it on a chop saw, so a lot of times these things here will become projectiles. So I made this thing, I don't know how long ago. I have wore this thing out, and it's time for another one. It needs to fit the saw you're going to use, but see the slack I got there? So if you come in, let's say, also keeps it off your bench. See, I got me a fresh little old deal right there. So you can come in here and it will hold you straight. So that's a bench hook, and it's off. It's a shooting board, bench hook are the two things I use a lot. But it got to where, you know, you're using, this is for the smaller stuff, you know what I mean. Well, the thing about it is, if you needed a situation where you had something longer, I made these little hooks right here. Now you got a solid, and what I like about stuff like this, you can pick them up, check and see how it's going. Say you're cutting a dado or something, and you can look and see where you're at and go back to work. Bench hooks are really handy. Little old things like that just to speed you up. If it speeds you up, and the thing about it is, if it speeds you up, makes it easier, you'll wind up doing it. And it's, your enjoyment stays in it. I really love woodworking. Little old things like this you can make in a few minutes. Some people cut short here and they can do their sawing right there, but I got one of them. A lot of times I'll make a jig to help me through a little old situation in a project, and I wind up implementing that little old jig. Yeah, I've got all kinds of, there's jigs everywhere. We may do a tour one of these days on jigs that I've got. It's pretty cool. I sold a table saw, had a crosscut sled and everything with it, but most of the time, if you're changing brands or like I did, well, the crosscut sled is not any good to you. It was made to fit that saw. And I've made some small ones for smaller parts. The best thing in the world, you talking about safety. Gosh, you want to be able to go home and see the wife and kids and grandkids in my case, and man, I'm telling you, you got to be safe. Got to be safe. If you can build a little old jig here, most of the time, something like this or something like this, you make it out of your scrap wood anyway. I mean, if you're a woodworker like I am, you really don't like throwing anything away. So there you go. And I tell you what, I love it. I hope y'all like these videos. It's good practice for me to doing them this way. It gets me talking and carrying. I feel like I'm carrying on conversation with y'all. I hope y'all like these. I'm gonna keep. Oh yeah, let me show you one more thing before I go. See, I made it the same height as this. If for some reason you needed to incorporate this, all right, what happens is now it's longer. I mean, I just had to throw that in. I just noticed that. But most of the time you can, it's, I don't know, little old things like that just makes life easier. And I can watch YouTube and pick up things along the way. Like I said, I've been doing this over 50 years for woodworking part. Not full time, but I've seen a lot of things. Like I say, this piece right here, That was the second project I ever done. It's a little candle holder. I made that November of 1971. But I really enjoy the woodworking. This YouTube's new. I feel like I'm getting better at it. I guess as long as you're having fun, just keep her going, and that's what I'm gonna do. But I will see you guys. Like I said, we're doing a five day here. Just do as a little test. I'm down here anyway, doing this mornings in the shop. After the 30-day talking head, and I decided to call it mornings in the shop. But we decided to air it, getting good response. As long as we're keeping good response, after the 5 days, I may do one of these once a week or something like that. But it'll come to me. It'll come to me. I went back and looked at some of the videos I did early on. Yeah, I still got a long way to go now, but it's I have come a ways. So I don't know if I can help people out. That just tickles me to death. That just tickles me. Because whenever I was doing, when I started woodworking, the help wasn't there. I had to figure it out a lot of times. See, YouTube wasn't around, and all that. And then, of course, I took it in school. That got me started. But a lot of this, I just had to figure it out. And a lot of this, if you notice, I may call it something different. I just had to figure it out as I went. But I love it. I'm enjoying it. I come down. I don't spend all my time down here, but I spend a decent portion of it. So there we go. If y'all hung with me this long, I do appreciate it. But I hope I help. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow being Wednesday, and we'll just look at something tomorrow. Meanwhile, enjoy your day and be safe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All righty.